Hey, what's up, guys? Tomorrow we plan on playing some Frontier Wars. First thing, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Frontier Wars or not. It's a Van Ryder game, Van Ryder games game. What makes it kind of unique, if you want to call it such, is that the combat is diceless, which is fine. It works great. We're playing a great game of this tomorrow. We have all of our towels here. We're going to set we have all of our decks of cards, all the tokens that we need, all the pieces that we need, and more tokens and pieces, and look, more towels and more tokens and more tokens. And then we have our faction sheets. I got the expansion, so I have France and Japan included in this. Whoopee! So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. We're probably going to, as a matter of fact, let's take a look. Where's the, there's a, oh, it's in the back of this. The mission section here. Oh, yeah. Right here. Mission book. So we're going to play a beginner game, but three-player. That looks a lot like the one we played the first time we played. I want to play a bigger one. That's what she said. Oh, look. Here's a three-player with a bigger map. This is probably what we'll play tomorrow. 30 to 60 minutes duration. Probably about, it'll probably take us about two and a half, 3 hours. And we'll see how it goes. Looks like a nice map. We're playing this one tomorrow. Frontier Wars. Okay? Check it out. So, I'm getting all this shit ready. That's why it's sitting out, and I'm putting it together all sloppy, because I'm going to pull it all out tomorrow all sloppy. But then, you know what? There's another game that I want to play. I've watched a bunch of videos. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch, because there's not that many. But there's the videos about this game. Remember this game? No, you don't, because you never picked it up. But listen, this game is pretty fun. It comes with, oh, God. It's chock full of cards. Cards for mad cards. Cards for everything. There's so many cards. I mean, these decks are pretty big. And, of course, that's what she said. But, so, and you get these, and all these minis. I have all these bags of minis. The players are separate. I have these separated for some reason. I don't remember why. I just watched a video of a guy did a review of this game, and he painted all his minis, man. And, well, first of all, there was a complaint. The minis aren't as good as, they're not as good as you would expect. But you know what? Actually, the minis aren't freaking bad. They're not bad minis. They're a little bit smaller. They're a little bit of a more rigid plastic. You can't really bend these too much. You'll break them. But the molds themselves aren't that bad, right? So there's a bag full of like bad guys, and then there's a bag full of characters. These might be the different Rambos. Yeah, I have 4 different Rambos. 4 different Rambos, and then these are the good guys. The other good guys. There's a couple of Trotmans and a couple of other people from the movies. But this big bag here is all the bad guys that you can place on the board. And, oh yeah, the helicopters. There's helicopters in here too. See it? That's the Hind from the movie where he was shooting shit. Anyway, the guy, I watched a video where the guy painted all of his minis. They looked great. It was perfect, beautiful. It makes me want to paint these. And I might. I'm going to Gen Con this year like I do every year, and I might buy some paints and some brushes, and plus my other son, my not youngest, but my middle son, he may be interested in starting to paint minis. If he sees me doing it and he sees what I'm doing, he might be able to be drawn into that. And it's not a bad thing to be drawn into. You know what I mean? It's better than, say, crack, like Hunter Biden's been drawn into. Anyway, there's all kinds of minis. There's all kinds of tokens to track different things that go on. These are your armor and valor, and these are tokens you use on your player board to track things. They come on and off quickly. These are your hit markers and wounded markers. After you take so many hits, you're wounded, and you put a wounded marker over top of an ability that you might have. Like you have, for this chick, Bow, she has Scout, Brace, Duck, and Hide. Now, if she took enough damage, like if she took enough of these little hits to make one of these big wounded markers come out, she would have to put one of them wounded markers over one of those abilities, or actions, I should say, that she has. So maybe she'll block out Duck, right? So if she does that, then she won't be able to use that ability at all the rest of the game. Up here is your stealth tracker. It's kind of confusing if you watch the videos. Like, the lower your stealth tracker is more or less how well do other things hear you. Like, how quiet are you? So the lower the better. Green is good. Yellow, of course, is medium, and red is bad. And certain effects can happen to you, and if your stealth is in red, it's worse. Here's that damn knife that you keep. It's cardboard, and then you keep track of the rounds on this. It's silly. I think it's silly. It's a gimmick, and they added it to the game to charge you more money for cardboard. Here are some cards that explain the different icons. They're double-sided. It's a player reference. There's 4 of them. You get your rule book, where the rule book's actually kind of small. It's not a hard game. The last page are some awards you can earn by doing things. But the rule book is very large. Lots of color, lots of illustrations, lots of examples. It's glossy, which sucks. But you shouldn't have to write in it. It's a good rule book, I guess. It works. Then you have the mission book, which this has all the missions, missions are really the different scenes from Rambo 2 and 3. Rambo 1, First Blood, is a solo game, and I didn't care for it. But this game recreates the movies 2 and 3. And they kind of break down different scenes of the movies into scenarios that you can play. And they give you a layout of the map and all the other information that you would need to know to set this scenario up. You can play a campaign where you play all the scenarios in a series, but we're probably not going to play it that way. Not at first. We're probably just going to pick a scenario and to be, oh, check that out. That's a nice picture. We're just probably going to pick a scenario out and then play it until we get used to the system, and then maybe we'll play a campaign. Maybe. This is the Read Me First section that I pulled out third. And then you have all of your map parts. You have all kinds of little overlays, which are buildings, basically. Most of your overlays are buildings and destroyed buildings or the insides of buildings. And there's all kinds of different sizes. There's rectangles, there's squares, there's giant squares, and they're all double-sided. There's even these huts, right? So, and then you have these big double-sided map pieces. And you put 4 of these together normally to make a board. One side is like Vietnam jungle. The other side looks like Afghanistan. You know, movies 2 and 3, right? And some of them have some terrain on them that you can't move through, or it's difficult to move through. For instance, this waterfall or this stream. Notice the yellow outlines. That just means you pay double moving over those lines. So it's just hard to cross the stream, basically. There's lots and lots of map boards. So that's really a quick look at that Rambo game. I made a big deal out of the Rambo game because I got a little bit of a hard one for it. It's something I think that my group would like. It's a lot of fun. It seems pretty easy. There's also a lot of I don't want to say differentiation, but I mean, there's a lot of each scenario will not be the same. I mean, you could play the same scenario 2 or 3 times, but they're not going to be the same because of these cards, because of the random aspects. There's cards, gear cards. There's, I don't even know what these are. These are the Fog of War cards. I got 2 decks of these. You kind of like overlay these on parts of the map so that the characters don't even know what's there. Then you flip the card over and look, oh no. I mean, so this is something we want to play. Well, I want to play. And if I want to play it, then everybody else has to. But we're going to do Frontier Wars first, because that's a fun game. And I'll probably, I'm losing my voice. I'll probably make a video about that, or at least talk about it tomorrow after we play it. Just because it's a fun game. And I don't think it gets enough love. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night.